welcome to the County Ground in Swindon for this Barclays League Second Division fixture between Swindon Town and Ipswich Town. And there's a shot of the Stratton Bank, and it's a very special occasion for that particular part of the County Ground today, because it's the first time under the new regime where that particular part of terracing is to be used by visiting supporters only. It's been used in the past in cup ties for visiting supporters, but today is the first time, and it will be there forevermore. That will be used for visiting supporters only at the County Ground in Swindon, and there's a fair few who've made the journey up from East Anglia today. It's a bright sunny afternoon at the County Ground. Let's hope the football matches that, and those fans will be pretty pleased because here comes their team, Ipswich Town. Led out by their captain Romeo Zondervan, the Dutch international. What an influential player he is for Ipswich Town. We shall see him, I've no doubt, throughout the course of the next 90 minutes play. We now await the arrival of the home side, who of course are Swindon Town. Swindon gained their first away victory of the season when they won 3-2 at Hull. Trailing 2-1 at half-time, they came back strongly in the second half to win, and the winning goal scored by Tim Parkin, who is restored to the side to replace the suspended John Gittins, and Tim Parkin keeps his place again for this particular game. We'll go through the two sides for you very shortly indeed. Swindon won at Ipswich last season by 2-1. Steve White got both of those, but it was Ipswich who won at the County Ground in the corresponding fixture by 3-2. And indeed, here comes Swindon Town, led out by their skipper, Colin Calderwood. Swindon on a 4-match unbeaten run will be going into this game with some confidence. There is, however, some problem for manager Ozzy Ardiles today because he has 3 players out due to suspension. The aforementioned John Gittins, who's missing, he's on the second game of a 3-match ban. Also out, starting a 3-match ban, is Fitzroy Simpson, sent off twice this season, and Sean Close. Both of those players sent off against Plymouth, and he indeed is one of the goal scorers against Plymouth, Phil King, who scored in a tremendous 3-0 victory. A superb game of football, and Swindon must have been well pleased with the performance on the night. Today's mascot for the town, Mr. Lee Young from Filkins in Gloucestershire. He attends the Langford School and plays for Carterton Town. His favourite player is Mark Hughes of Manchester United, and that surprisingly is his favourite side. Manchester United then, as he tries a shot, and it's past the former Manchester United goalkeeper Fraser Digby. So, an impressive start for the youngster. Also lobbing shots in was John Cornwall, one of the town subs, and it's a long journey up for that particular young man, the mascot for Ipswich Town this afternoon, and he's trying to put the ball past the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. And let's run through the two sides for you this afternoon then. In goal for Ipswich, Craig Forrest. At 2, Michael Stockwell. 3, Neil Thompson. 4, Stephen Palmer. At 5, Frank Yallop. 6, David Linnigan. 7, David Lowe. 8, Jason Dazelle. 9, Mitch Davray. 10, Louis Donowa. 11, Romeo Zondervan. And the substitutes, Chris Kawumya and Graham Harvey. Swindon Town side line up like this. In goal, Fraser Digby. 2, Dave Hockaday. 3, Phil King. At 4, it's Alan McLoughlin, who's having a fine season. At 5, Colin Calderwood. 6, Tim Parkin. 7, Tom Jones, who's restored to the side. 8, Duncan Shearer. 9, Steve White. 10, Ross McLaren. 11, Paul Bodin. And the town substitutes, Tony Gelvin and John Cornwall. The referees this afternoon is Mr. Martin Bodnam from Cornwall. The linesman with the red trim is Mr. S.P. Brown, and with the yellow trim it's Mr. A.G. Bunce. The reserve official is Mr. J. Griffiths. There we are, that's the way things line up then at the County Ground in Swindon, and we now just await the kick-off. Swindon will be attacking the goal on our right. That is the Stratton Bank end, now populated, as I said, by visiting supporters. It's Ipswich Town who will get us underway. And the East Anglian side come off a 2-1 win against Newcastle at Portman Road, perhaps their best performance of the new season. And Swindon, that 3-2 victory at Hull, and that's the last in a 4-game unbeaten run. And much can be promised, I think, from this afternoon's entertainment. Two sides who are playing good football this season. Swindon, with a new style under manager Ozzy Ardiles, like to play the ball on the floor, and Ipswich have been renowned over the years as a footballing side, so we could be in for an entertaining 90 minutes. It's Hockaday's header forward, onto the chest of Duncan Shearer, onto Bodin. Here's McLoughlin, but a good swift challenge, only finds Phil King. Crossfield ball near side for Hockaday, lays it back, and already the football is flowing. It's Romeo Zondervan. Infield for Dazelle, plays a fine ball, far side of the field as Ipswich show signs already of pushing the ball around. Louis Donowa into Stockwell. And Swindon's defence quick to close down, and here's the ball forward by Bodin, but Dazelle picks it up, but he's pretty slow off the mark, and it's Bodin in midfield. Lays a nice ball off for Steve White, the Town number 9. Has Hockaday in support. And the jump there from Jones, he couldn't quite reach it, and the ball goes through to Craig Forrest, who was an ever-present this season, despite his 51st minute substitution at Brighton on September the 27th, that with injury. David Linnigan. After Thompson. Calderwood's challenge quickly in to find McLaren. Lays it forward into the Ipswich half, but that's no problem at all there for David Linnigan, a brother of Andy Linnigan from Norwich City. Swindon's tackling in midfield very quick indeed, and that was Phil King that time. He denied the Ipswich player and found Tom Jones. Into McLaren, tries to play the ball out wide and does so into the corner, but just a touch too strong for Phil King, and that'll be a goal kick to Ipswich Town. So, lots of early movement. Ipswich aside, of course, with First Division pedigree and European pedigree indeed. They won the FA Cup in 1978 with defeating Arsenal by a goal to nil. Roger Osborne was the goal scorer. But really since then, times have been a little bit lean. One UEFA Cup success and then relegation to Division 2. And they've spent the last few seasons trying to get back into the top flight. The ball played forward into the inside left channel, looking for the run of David Lowe. But no problem at all for Colin Calderwood, who got back swiftly to find Fraser Digby, who really has been in superb form and of course has just returned from Poland, where he was on England under-21 international duty and played in a 3-1 victory for England. Tom Jones takes his man on. It's Mick Stockwell. On to McLaren. Chance for him to get forward perhaps. Plays a square ball off to Hockaday. Hockaday has Bodin in support, but he does well here, does Hockaday. Tremendous run from him, and it's a chance for Shearer. Well, a great chance for the Swindon Town player. A fine run by David Hockaday, and Shearer was stretching and screwed it wide of the far post. But superb work by the Town number 2, David Hockaday, in the 4th minute, and it's still scoreless. But the first real opportunity of the afternoon's proceedings. Forrest then with a goal kick. Headed on by Thompson. Hockaday forward. Here's White. Hockaday again, who's already been influential, pushing forward the Town number 2. And that really was a terrific run. He got between two Ipswich Town defenders and pulled the ball back, and well, Shearer wasn't quite able to put the ball into the net. So enterprising start from Swindon Town. And Ipswich strike back immediately. That's a through ball looking for Donowa, and out comes Digby, and he spreads himself superbly there. to deny the Ipswich Town forward. So already we've had chances at both ends of the field. We're only 5 minutes into the game. It already shows signs of being somewhat of a fine match, and that was a superb save from Fraser Digby to deny Donowa. Corner kick to Ipswich. Cross to the face of his own goal by Phil King, but the Town defence get the ball away. And that's Steve White battling away well, and that's a fine ball through for Shearer. And he's brought down from behind by Linnigan, and we'll be interested to see what action the referee takes here. The crowd none too pleased with that particular action from Linnigan, and referee Bodnam is to take some kind of action. Shearer clean through. Linnigan, well, is going to be booked. So that's the first caution of the afternoon. Linnigan, I suppose, is a professional footballer and would look at that and say, well, there wasn't much I could do in those particular circumstances. Free kick to Swindon then. Ross McLaren is the man over the ball. Squares it to Phil King, and that's a little shooter off the surface. Good shot from Phil King, the Town number 3. And he'll have looked at that incident with some interest, because against Manchester City here, Phil King was sent off for a very similar offence. So there's a lesson perhaps to be drawn from that. As it is, Ipswich still have 11 players on the field, and we still await the first goal. McLaren's ball forward, looking for the run of Steve White, and there's an offside flag up. White is none too pleased with that decision, but he wouldn't have got on the end of that because Craig Forrest had come out very quickly indeed to deny the Town forward. So it's free kick to Ipswich. 7 pretty entertaining minutes gone. Swindon caught again at the back. Here's a chance for Donowa inside that Town area. Phil King, nice little back heel. Fine piece of work by him. Finds McLaren. But the ball given away as Ipswich come forward. McLaren away once again to Shearer. To Hockaday. Hockaday forward, good ball for him towards McLoughlin. But Frank Yallop, vastly experienced campaigner, of course, Frank Yallop, finds the keeper. Swindon defeated here on the opening day of the season by Sunderland by 2-0, and since then have managed to remain unbeaten. Throw to Ipswich to be taken by the number 3 Neil Thompson. A summer signing from Scunthorpe United, £100,000 worth. He scored 12 goals for Scunthorpe last season. Zondervan's cross to the far post, no problem for Fraser Digby. An offside flag against the Ipswich Town forward line. Colin Calderwood, 178th league appearance for Swindon Town against Ipswich this afternoon. And what a fine skipper he's been since he's joined the club from Mansfield Town. Led them to the 4th Division Championship and promotion from Division 3. And been a fine ambassador for the club. Here's a chance for Swindon once again. Alan McLoughlin, well, very little need be said about the final effort. Was under pressure from the Ipswich Town defence. But Calderwood, well, as I said, a fine ambassador for the club. He's led them well on and off the field. Zondervan, challenged by King. Finds McLaren. Sweeping ball off to Hockaday. To Parkin, in turn finds McLaren over the halfway line. Good ball by him, and that's a superb ball. Hockaday not quite got the pace, and indeed it would have been hard on him to criticise him because the ball just a little bit too hard. But McLaren does have this ability to hit long balls to test the opposition's defence. 10th minute, no score. Thompson nearly getting himself in trouble. Eventually gets it away through Linnigan, but Ipswich, well, they're playing a dangerous game here. But how quickly they move from defence into attack. A fine sweeping move by the East Anglian outfit here. And here's some pace shown here by Donowa. Gets past Phil King. But unfortunately for him, puts the ball into touch. So Ipswich certainly on the break are by no means a slouch outfit. They get forward very quickly indeed. And they're going to cause some problems for the Swindon Town defence. Here's McLoughlin. Oh well, sloppy ball by the midfielder, as Dazelle picks it up in midfield for Ipswich. But likewise, the passing, not the crispest you could see, but it's certainly lending for an exciting afternoon's football. Here comes Tom Jones, tries a long-range effort, and keeper Forrest quite happy to see that go past the post. Ipswich managed by John Duncan, who was at Tottenham Hotspur, and of course so was Ozzy Ardiles, the Swindon Town manager. So former teammates in opposition this afternoon. Fiercely contested this game in midfield, and neither side in the ascendancy as yet. Both sides producing chances. Superb save by Fraser Digby earlier on from Donowa. And Duncan Shearer was presented with a good opportunity after a fine run by Dave Hockaday. Hockaday, one of the most consistent players in the Town lineup for the last few years, and indeed he made his 350th full league appearance in the 1-1 draw at Bradford City earlier on this season. Now Swindon Town's longest serving player following the departure of Lee Barnard to Cardiff City. Cross into that Town box, but Digby says thank you very much, and I dare say he'd like the rest of them for the afternoon to be like that. Very comfortable indeed. Long clearance from him, and it's a good one, but Forrest, well, rather reminds you, doesn't it, of the game that some kids used to play in the playground, of one goalkeeper just kicking it to the other one and forgetting about the rest of the players. Shearer battling away well and finds Jones, who in turn finds McLaren. Here's Hockaday. McLaren, fine ball, off to McLoughlin. McLaren. Inside right position is Steve White. It's Hockaday with him, but White does well here. And it takes a deflection which denies the danger to the Ipswich defence, as Ipswich break quickly once again. They do this so rapidly. And Phil King, does well here. Polices Donowa all the way and concedes the throw. Dazelle. Hockaday, well, no problem there, and using all his experience just to cushion back to Digby. Maybe able to pick up the noise of the wind. It's pretty blustery here this afternoon, a crisp autumn afternoon, and really perfect for football. Mitch Davray, crossfield pass, and both sides have shown that they're willing to play this afternoon too, which is refreshing. Calderwood with David Lowe, it comes to Phil King. Quickly taken. Here's a chance for McLoughlin to run, but bad defence there, and it comes to Steve White. Here's McLoughlin. McLaren now in the centre of the field. What can he do with this? Off to Hockaday, who once again is up in support. Takes on Zondervan. Fine tackle, and Zondervan does very well indeed there. But Ipswich still unable to get it away. McLaren knocks it forward, and that's a fine ball too for McLoughlin. Has Bowden up in support. And throw to Swindon Town. So Ipswich getting themselves in some trouble at the back. Steve White. Back to Hockaday. Here's McLaren perhaps with a chance of a shot, and straight into the arms of Craig Forrest. Dazelle. Oh, does well. And that's a good ball off to Zondervan. Zondervan then. And Ipswich still continue to come forward. Dazelle gets a block. And it's Swindon's turn here to get in some trouble as Lowe came forward. Tremendous save by Fraser Digby. And you can see the Ipswich Town attack hold their heads in their hands as Digby comes out to make his second splendid save of the afternoon. That's twice he's denied Ipswich forwards when they've been clean through, and really showing all his international class. But the danger not past yet as Digby goes up once again and takes the ball off the head of Davray, just to palm it behind. But Digby, well, he's having one of those afternoons, isn't he? When everything either sticks or he manages to get away, and he really is looking a consummate goalkeeper at the moment. His form is quite excellent this season. Corner kick to Ipswich, and look at that. And a great throw too, finds Tom Jones. Phil King, and comfortable for him. Back to Fraser Digby. Here's Hockaday. Good ball forward, looking for Bowden, who tries to get it back, but David Linnigan quickly closed him down, and it's a throw. Steve White. Hockaday. Far post, too deep, but Shearer gets it back. Parkinning strongly. Phil King driving forward, but that's a fine turn by Louis Donowa. And Donowa does well, outpaces Ross McLaren here. And he's coming forward strongly as Donowa. That's a good run from him, and a cross shot, and down goes Digby. But fine work there by Louis Donowa. The Ipswich number 10 driving from his own penalty box, and here's defence straight into attack once again with Shearer. Hardly time to take breath so far in this opening 19 minutes of the match. Hockaday. Tom Jones, square. To McLaren, perhaps a chance for a shot, and a little grub shot really. No power. Jones. And he finds Hockaday, who really is pressing up a lot this afternoon. Into that Ipswich area. Bowden's header, and Forrest. .20 minutes exactly gone, and we still await the first goal, but there's plenty of action so far to suggest that we will see more than one goal this afternoon. Both sides committed to attack early on, and we've seen a fair sprinkling of chances already. Mick Stockwell then for Ipswich Town. Digby's goal kick, not quite reaching the halfway line, and it's Ipswich who win that ball in the air through Dazelle. McLaren off now to McLoughlin. Square ball finds Hockaday, as always, up in support. Bowden into that Ipswich area, and fine work by Steve White. Really did put the Ipswich defence under pressure there, and they still can't get it away. It comes to Bowden. McLaren back to Bowden. Jones looking to find Hockaday and Bowden, and wide of the target. But continued pressure there from Swindon brings them a corner. Paul Bowden, who's forced his way into the side, and the way he's playing, well, he could be in there for some considerable time to come. Near post corner, and Craig Forrest, well, I just think he was quite relieved to see that drop in front of him. It was over the head of Calderwood. And here's Calderwood back in defence, finding Digby. Phil King. King will take this throw for Swindon, as the action's died just a fraction in the last few minutes, but got off to such a cracking pace that I dare say anything would seem slow compared to that first quarter now, but we still await the first goal. Linnigan, good strong header from him. And it will be Phil King with the throw. McLaren, who seems to be the inspiration behind so much of Swindon's forward movements now, and that's a great ball by Bowden. And out came Craig Forrest before Steve White could get on the end of it. That's a poor ball as McLaren picks it up once again. On to McLoughlin, and down he goes, a free kick. And referee Boddenham, well, he's quite right. The ball was a good 5 or 6 yards away from where the offence occurred, and it still is. So, Swindon, well, the referee quite clearly in the right position. Swindon saying that they would have got on with it quicker, but well, we're underway again now. Here's Dazelle. Tough battling away, though, by Alan McLoughlin to McLaren. A little back heel by him. Well, it was a bit too clever for Phil King. He'd already started off in the wrong direction. Stay with Colin Calderwood. Looking for the run of Jones, but good defence by Ipswich, and it's back with Forrest. And a fair sprinkling of Ipswich fans have made their way cross-country from East Anglia. It's a long old way, really. It's a fair old journey, and they're rewarded by a good entertaining first 25 minutes and a dry afternoon on the Stratton Bank. Good sweeping move here from Swindon. Shearer into McLoughlin, and he has Phil King in support. Good cross towards the head of Duncan Shearer, and that's behind for the goal kick. Duncan Shearer with 4 goals so far this season, will be looking to add to that tally. He's one behind the town's top marksman, McLoughlin. Jones header, away by Dazelle. Calderwood, and that will be back to Fraser Digby. Steve White beaten in the air, but it's McLaren. Sweeping ball, what a great ball too for Hockaday. Couldn't quite take it, but what a superb ball by the town number 10, Ross McLaren, who really is having a fine game in midfield. Push on Mitch Davray by Calderwood brings a free kick to Ipswich. Dazelle will take this free kick. It's Dazelle once again. Good ball into the inside right position, but King is across there to Mark Lowe, but Ipswich still in possession as Donowa tries to get past King, but that's a fine tackle. But the ball still in that nasty little corner there, and Swindon get a throw. Phil King, the town number 3. Hockaday, well, no problem there for the Swindon number 2, just lets it roll back to Digby. There's a chance for Tom Jones to get forward then. And perhaps there was a chance there for him to get the ball in the box quickly, more quick than he did, and he'll now have to take the throw. It's with King. Jones again, looking to go far post, but Forrest, no problem. Calderwood, good strong defensive work, denies low, and it will be Donowa, far side of the field, for this throw for Ipswich Town. Stephen Palmer. Back to Stockwell. Nice layoff by Lowe to Dazelle. Into Lowe. This looks dangerous from Ipswich, and 2 Swindon defenders get back and deny him the opportunity. Here's Hockaday. Linnigan off to Stockwell. Donowa. Cross looking far post, up goes Tim Parkin. And Palmer gets the ball forward, and good defensive work there by Ross McLaren, showing his sweeping instincts that were used to great effect last season. Here's Steve White. He's beaten though, as Ipswich defence looks pretty solid. Hockaday. McLaren and Hockaday combining well. And here's McLoughlin. Some tireless running from the town number 4. McLaren. Here's Tom Jones. Phil King's ball forward. Bowden. And chance for Shearer with a shot. And, well, smack on half an hour gone. And rather stubbed that effort. The ball dropped kindly to him inside the box, but shot wide of the target. So second reasonable opportunity the Town number 8 has had this afternoon. First after only 4 minutes when he sliced wide following a fine run by Dave Hockaday, and that one, well, the ball dropped to him in the box and he just couldn't find the ball on target. So half an hour gone, still no score. Palmer forward. Oh, the mistake in the Ipswich Town defence allows Bowden a chance to run. Gets his cross in, and it was deflected just too far in front of Duncan Shearer off an Ipswich Town defender. So Swindon get a corner. Good chance for a break there, and Bowden, well, perhaps knows that his cross wasn't the best in the world, and Swindon's chance had gone. McLoughlin. Phil King drives it low and hard, and that's a fine ball to put into the box. A shot from distance, but way wide of the target. So a little flurry of action there. Ross McLaren's shot from Swindon as they look to find the breakthrough. Calderwood. Jones back to Digby. Here's Hockaday. Zondervan. Ball by the Ipswich midfielders. Swindon get possession once again through Bowden. That's a fine ball. Off to Jones. That's King up in support. And tries to find him. And King, far post cross, but behind for the goal kick. Good move by Swindon, though. We're in the 33rd minute of the game. McLaren. Good ball forward, looking for Steve White. White has McLoughlin with him. It is McLoughlin, gets it across. Here's Jones. Squares it to Shearer. And that is the opening goal of the game. A fine move. White, McLoughlin and Jones combining to square the ball across the face of the goal for Duncan Shearer to notch his 5th goal of the season. 33 minutes gone and Swindon take the lead. And Shearer, who had 2 presentable opportunities earlier on in the game, well, he made no mistake on that occasion. So Swindon into a 1-0 lead, 33 minutes on the clock. It was a fine goal, well constructed, and 3 or 4 Swindon players involved before Tom Jones was able to square it across the face of that Ipswich Town box for Duncan Shearer to find the net. Second home game in a row that he scored. He scored against Shrewsbury Town in the Little Woods Cup. So Ipswich, who have contributed to an entertaining first half hour, now find themselves a goal down. Calderwood. White with the header, looking to find McLoughlin, does so. Here is Phil King up in support. As Jones. And Swindon looking for a second. Jones squaring across the face of the Ipswich box. And behind for a corner kick. 10 minutes remaining to the half-time whistle. Swindon Town 1, Ipswich Town 0. Duncan Shearer's 5th of the new season. Harkin's header on by Calderwood, away by Linnigan. Hockaday for Bowden. Shearer, well, just taken off his toe before he could get his shot in. He really did set himself up well. Here's Zondervan. But a bit of a block there by Ross McLaren, who acknowledges his foul, and so Ipswich Town get a free kick. But what's been nice to see so far this afternoon is that the players are quite happy to get on with the game after the foul has been committed. Thompson's free kick. Steve White only as far as Donowa. Into Stockwell. Half touch by McLaren and sufficient to find King, who in turn finds Steve White. Throw to Swindon Town. McLoughlin does very well indeed and finds White. Back to McLoughlin. And, tussling away like a little tiger in that midfield is Alan McLoughlin, and has forced back but evades his man quite superbly. Tremendous piece of play by the former Manchester United player. Finds David Hockaday, who in turn finds McLaren. Here's Dazelle. Very influential midfield player, and that's a good ball looking for the run of Donowa. Back to Stockwell. Dazelle. Looking for Lowe. Jones to King, and good defence by Swindon. Playing the ball around a little bit too much perhaps inside their own box, but they do manage to get it away. And a fine sweeping ball finds David Hockaday. And Hockaday repeats what he did in the first 4 minutes of the match, when he burst between two Ipswich defenders, but not quite as effective on that occasion. But Hockaday, who's had a fine game so far this afternoon, in both defence and attack. 8 minutes remaining to the half-time whistle. Dazelle into Lowe. Stockwell finds Donowa. Dazelle the volley, and across the face of the goal. Well, first time effort, and there is the scoreline, 1-0 to Swindon. Shearer looking for White. Zondervan, well, his route to goal cut off by an eager Alan McLoughlin. The ball into touch. So Swindon now with just 7 minutes of the first half remaining in the driving seat, 1-0 to the good. Here's a chance for McLaren perhaps to put more pressure on that Ipswich defence. Here's Jones. Calderwood and Parkin, no problem for the Town number 6. On the transfer list, Tim Parkin, brought in as a replacement for John Gittins, who's under suspension, and has performed very well indeed. Got the winning goal at Hull City in the 3-2 victory. And that ball will go, well, considerable distance over the stand, in fact, as we await the appearance of a new match ball. Well, we could have a long wait because physio Kevin Morris disappears down the tunnel in search of what I dare say is a new football. Well, one of those great moments in British football that you don't see very often. A professional club doesn't have a football, and out comes Kevin Morris now with 2 in a net bag, and he has to do the bag now to get the ball out. No, still can't manage. And well, this is one of the most amusing incidents you'll ever see. Even at a professional football club, you don't get a football. And Kevin Morris, much to the crowd's amusement, is really struggling here. And the original football finds its way back to David Hockaday. Well, there we are. What a tremendous moment that was. And a round of applause for Kevin Morris. Back to the serious business then, and Hockaday with the throw. McLoughlin inside that area. Easy chance, gets round past Forrest, and it's into the net. And Alan McLoughlin, well, the Ipswich defence perhaps still recovering from that farce of a situation just a few moments ago. And it went off Linnigan into the roof of the net, but I dare say Alan McLoughlin will claim his 6th goal of the season. Swindon Town 2, Ipswich Town 0. 5 minutes remaining to the half-time whistle, and Ipswich, I dare say, will point to that little incident where they lost concentration and were made to pay dearly for it. They'll have to do some attacking now. Is Donowa. Quickly broken up though by the Swindon Town defence, well in control of this particular match. Here's Hockaday. And does well, gets back to Digby. Duncan Shearer with his 5th goal of the season, Alan McLoughlin with his 6th. Swindon Town 2, Ipswich Town 0. And it's a fair old mountain decline for the Ipswich Town side, but a little reminder here that they were 2-0 down against Swindon last season at the county ground, before coming back to get 2 goals in the last minute to win by 3 goals to 2. So, all is not lost for the East Anglian outfit. Here is Neil Thompson. And to be fair to them, they've come forward in abundance throughout the afternoon, so perhaps they feel there is a way back for them yet. Calderwood on to Ross McLaren. Good ball forward by McLaren. Shearer goes up and Stockwell completes the defensive work by finding Forrest. And one young gentleman, well, he leaves the game early. Escorted by 2 men of the Wiltshire Constabulary, and I dare say he is to be added to a number of statistics about people ejected from football grounds, and let's hope that statistics comes down very quickly indeed. And those gentlemen who are ejected, well, they'll perhaps consider themselves slightly not what the game of football is all about. What we've seen on the pitch is definitely what it's been all about. A good, entertaining first half. Swindon have scored 2 goals. Ipswich have come forward continually throughout the first 45 minutes. But they may find themselves further behind here as Hockaday crosses in towards Tom Jones. Jones, little chip back, and fine piece of play by him. And Forrest was able to retrieve. And here's a chance for Palmer to get forward strongly for Ipswich. But Parkin, well, gets caught for his pains, but does well. Last minute of the first half, Swindon 2 goals up through Duncan Shearer and Alan McLoughlin, although a case could be made out for it being an own goal. Low. Dazelle. There's McLoughlin, and a goal kick. Now, a very satisfactory situation for Swindon Town. Digby's clearance then. And there is the half-time whistle. Referee Bodenham from Lou in Cornwall brings the first half proceedings to a close. Swindon Town, a very satisfactory first 45 minutes for them. Duncan Shearer after 33 minutes. And there's Phil King with an arm round Kevin Morris's shoulder. Consoling arm after the situation with the match balls. 33 minutes, Duncan Shearer got his 5th goal of the season after a fine piece of work from Tom Jones. And then Alan McLoughlin, just 5 minutes from the half-time whistle, rounding keeper Craig Forrest and getting the ball into the net off the legs of David Linnigan. And it gives Swindon a very satisfactory first half performance and a half-time situation which reads Swindon Town 2, Ipswich Town 0. Welcome back to the county ground in Swindon for this second half of this match between Swindon Town and Ipswich Town. And it is a 2-0 lead for Swindon Town as we go into this second 45 minutes. Entertaining first half. Let's hope the second half lives up to the same sort of entertainment that we had in that first 45 minutes. So Swindon Town then will be kicking off, attacking the goal on our left. And that, of course, is the Town end goal here at the county ground. Referee Bodnam checks his linesman. And we're about to start the second 45 minutes. Indeed we are. Off we go. Swindon Town 2, Ipswich Town 0 at the start of the second 45-minute period. And Ipswich can consider themselves a little unlucky perhaps. They had some fine chances first half, but they were denied by the excellent goalkeeping of Swindon's Fraser Digby. And it's Ipswich in possession once again through the number 10, who is Louis Donowa. Into Mick Stockwell. Bowden, though, does well for Swindon. Swindon 4-game unbeaten run, so if they manage to get this one, they'll be well set up for the forthcoming league fixtures. Phil King back to McLaren. It's all a little bit tight there, though, and he managed to get it away. Shearer. It's beaten in the air this time, but it's away by the Swindon defence towards McLoughlin. McLoughlin has King up in support, finds Tom Jones. Well played by Alan McLoughlin. Gets the return and he's brought down, so Swindon get a free kick. And a little pat on the head from Paul Bowden. And in fact, it's a corner kick to Swindon Town. McLoughlin all alone inside that Ipswich Town penalty area. Cross from Hockaday, looking for the head of Parkin. Oof, and Coldwood, tremendous shot. Just over the crossbar from the Town captain. Looking for his first goal of the season. McLaren all the way back to Fraser Digby. Phil King has Jones with him. Infield now for McLaren. Sweeping ball and changing the point of the attack, as they say, by finding Hockaday onto Bowden. And Hockaday's gone up on the overlap, but Bowden's ball not quite as accurate as it might have been. It's Bowden once again. Drops for Jones. Shearer back to Jones, and down he goes. Looks for the penalty, and referee Bodnam says no. And to be fair to the referee, a reasonable looking decision. Thompson away. Headed on by Lowe, but there's no danger there for Swindon. Digby with the kick. Headed on by Shearer. And down goes Lowe under the challenge of Calderwood, who says the ball's gone that way, ref. But referee Boddenham, who's had a fine game so far this afternoon, disagrees that that is a free kick to Ipswich Town. Here's Donowa being shadowed by Phil King. Donowa gets the better of him, but Jones back to help, puts the ball behind for a corner kick. And Phil King acknowledges that Donowa beaten him there, and so it is a corner kick to Ipswich to be taken by David Lowe. Swindon 2 up as we're in the 5th minute of the second half. Stockwell forward as Ipswich obviously would like the early breakthrough, but Swindon break out in numbers here through Steve White. Steve White's cross and Stockwell, and that is a brilliant own goal. Mickey Stockwell, an absolutely superb volley over the head of Craig Forrest and into the back of the Ipswich Town net. Tremendous run forward by Steve White, and Ipswich all over the place. Stockwell, well, that's one of the best goals of the season. Swindon Town then 3-0 in the lead. And the cries of "sign him on" echo around as the Swindon fans, well, tell the Michael head of Stockwell. Phil King. Swindon well in control now, then 3 to the good. They can look for a fourth, and Shearer, well, here is the unfortunate Mickey Stockwell. Tremendous goal. And I dare say when the goals of the season are compiled at the end of the term, that will feature highly amongst them. Swindon hungry for more, and McLoughlin battling away, robs the Ipswich Town midfielder and puts a fine ball through for Phil King. King tries a long-range shot, and it's wide of the target. And Jones, well, a bit exasperated. He was in a good position. Swindon with a goal, either 5 minutes either side of the break, and after 33 minutes, and it leads to a 3-0 scoreline. Here's David Lowe. Zondervan, the cross comes in, far side. Here's Lowe, unmarked, far post, and away by Tom Jones. Frank Yallop then with a free kick for Ipswich. And here's Donowa, drives it in, far post, good cross too, and up goes Digby. Under pressure from the Ipswich attack, and copes quite admirably. Finds Phil King with a good throw. And Jones up in support, and Phil King comes inside towards Shearer. And it finds Bowden. And, well, looked like handball for a moment as Bowden's little chip found its way into that Ipswich box. Zondervan. Good ball towards Donowa. Great move by the Ipswich defence. Gets past one challenge. In comes Calderwood, and that looks like a penalty. And indeed it is. Donowa is fouled by Colin Coldwood after skipping past the challenger Phil King. And it was one challenge too many, says referee Bodnam, and Ipswich get a penalty kick. And it is Romeo Zondervan, the Dutch international midfielder, who will take this penalty for the East Anglian side. Looking to drag his team back into the game. Here comes Zondervan. Brilliant save by Fraser Digby. What a tremendous save by the under-21 international goalkeeper. Zondervan hit it well, but Digby read the situation brilliantly and was able to palm it away. So, disappointment for Ipswich continues. They're 3 down and they miss a penalty. They must have felt that they had a good chance there of getting back into the game, but it was not to be, due to the fine goalkeeping of Fraser Digby. Could be an important moment, that, as Ipswich are going to make a substitution. Frank Yallop, rather, is going to go off, and he's going to be replaced by Chris Kawumya. There you are, confirmed over the public address system. So Ipswich have made their first substitution of the afternoon. Swindon have yet to delve into the substitute numbers bag. And indeed, there's no reason why they should. They're 3 goals up. Jones robs the Ipswich midfielder and does well. And Calderwood rolls it back to Fraser Digby. Here's Phil King. Jones. Bowden. Back to Parkin. Back to Digby. Long clearance from Fraser Digby. Here's Kawumya. Fends off the challenge of Tom Jones. Here's Stockwell. Plays it back. Kawumya. To Palmer. On to Stockwell. Dazelle. "12 minutes, second half. Swindon 3, Ipswich 0. Crowd 8,039. And pretty entertaining afternoon they've had too. Less, of course. They've come from Ipswich when they won't have found the afternoon entertaining in any way, shape or form. But 8,039, a pretty reasonable attendance. Swindon's last home game drew in just over 5,000. So an extra 3,000 have made their way through into the Swindon Town football ground. And Phil King appeared to be held there by Kawumya. And I dare say Swindon will get a free kick for that particular infringement. McLaren just leaves it now for Colin Coldwood, who in turn taps it off to McLaren. Long ball forward from him. Looking for the run of Steve White. It's Jones up in support, but plays it infield to McLoughlin, who tries to play a 1-2 for Phil King, who gets it back, but it's a goal kick. Donowa. Dazelle. Palmer to Lowe. A good ball off to the number 2, Neil Thompson. Palmer once again. To Thompson. Long range shot from him and a brilliant save. Once again from Fraser Digby, who really is having a great afternoon. That was a tremendous save. There you are. The electronic scoreboard confirming that piece of observation. A tremendous piece of goalkeeping as Digby's afternoon, well, goes from good to quite excellent. Lowe's corner kick across the face of the goal and away by the Swindon defence, only as far as Lowe once again. Looking far post, a volley coming in and wide of the target. So Ipswich simply cannot find a way through. When they do get past the Town defence, this man, Fraser Digby, denies them any chance at all of finding the net. Shearer wins that in the air, looking for the run of White, but an offside flag had already come up, and so Ipswich have a free kick. An hour of the game gone, and Zondervan denies Paul Bowden in midfield and finds Stockwell, who I dare say is clearly wanting to atone for his earlier own goal. Jones, nice little ball off to McLoughlin, who in turn finds Steve White. White advancing on that Ipswich goal and tries his shot. Well, I dare say he'll best forget that one. Bowden tries to get it away, but the ball goes into touch. That's a throw to Ipswich. And Ipswich look as though they're going to make another substitution. Graham Harvey is the second Ipswich substitute this afternoon. McLaren. Steve White off to Tom Jones, has McLoughlin inside him, but Hockaday is up in support, wide on the right-hand side, but Jones floats the ball into that Ipswich box. It's away by Stockwell as far as Romeo Zondervan. Now on to Donowa. Ipswich unable to really force their way through the midfield. Thompson off to Lowe. There's Dazelle to Stockwell. Nice football from Ipswich, but it has yet to get anywhere. They play the ball around so well on the floor. It's McLoughlin. And, well, not the best ball he's played all afternoon. David Lowe. Off to Thompson, who tries another shot, and that's just wide of a post. Well, he forced a save out of Digby earlier on. That one's deflected wide for a corner kick. And it's a chance across the face of that goal. Davray off the crossbar. Well, really, that's a pretty fair indication of the way the luck's been going for Ipswich Town this afternoon. Mitch Davray with a little flick of a header and just off the top of the crossbar and back out into play. They've now missed a penalty, hit the crossbar and had two good chances in the first half, saved by the excellent Fraser Digby. It really hasn't been their afternoon. 19 minutes of the second half gone. Swindon still lead by 3-0. Here's McLoughlin. Hockaday. Calderwood. McLoughlin. Off to Bowden. McLaren. Bowden. And Swindon, well, quite content, it looks as though, to play it all the way back to Fraser Digby, although Calderwood holds it up for a moment, but that is eventually where the ball goes to. Calderwood once again. McLaren. King, well, not able to control that, ball goes into touch. Stockwell. Stockwell, well, a good piece of defence by him. Had nobody really in support and was forced to go back to his keeper. David Lowe. McLoughlin had just fouled him, free kick. Swindon manager Ozzy Ardiles sits down. Must be pretty content with what he's seen so far this afternoon. Some fine moves forward by Swindon, 3 goals and none conceded as yet. It's inside the Swindon box though. Have to defend pretty strongly here. But Steve White does well, finds Tom Jones. McLoughlin. In for McLaren. Looks to swing it in far post, but really no problem at all for Craig Forrest. Kawumia. Great challenge, and that was Hockaday, who really has been all over the place this afternoon. Worked tirelessly. And as Ipswich come forward once again. Donowa. Good ball, looking for the substitute, Kawumia. And across the face of the goal, it really was a good opportunity. He did very well indeed to evade the defence, and when it came to the final shot, well, he was found to be wanting. Midway through the second half of the match, Swindon Town still lead by 3 goals to 0. Clearance from Fraser Digby. Ipswich still continuing to play their football despite being 3 goals down, and that's always a good sign from a team. Here's a chance though for Steve White to put pressure on that Ipswich Town attack, and really Duncan Shearer was in a good position, but it's Tom Jones finds Phil King. Off to Steve White once again. Inside that Ipswich penalty area, looking to go far post for Shearer, but away by Linnigan, only as far as Bowden. Tries a little curler, and, well, too wide and too high. But good effort by the Town number 11. Kawumia. Linnigan. Phil King, but Stockwell is in there quickly for Ipswich. Finds Kawumia. Lays it off to Lowe, back to Kawumia, and out comes Digby. Kawumia's round him and into the net, but the whistle had already gone, so Ipswich bad luck continues. They have found the net the first time they have done this afternoon, but the referee and the linesman combine to rule the effort out. So it really is a pretty miserable afternoon so far for Ipswich Town. 20 minutes of the match still remaining, and Swindon still lead by 3-0. Duncan, Shearer, Alan McLoughlin, and an own goal, a spectacular own goal by Mick Stockwell, gives Swindon that advantage. And here's Steve White, well, hauled to the ground, and gets up to have a word with the offender, as does the referee, and Swindon will get a free kick. Mitch Davray is the culprit. Here's McLaren, chance for a shot perhaps, it's blocked. Away by David Lowe, looking to go far side, does so. Here's Paul Bowden for Swindon, and back to Digby. McLaren. McLoughlin beaten in the air, it's Linnigan. Zondervan, influential midfielder. History, of course, of Dutchmen at Ipswich Town. They had Arnold Muren and Frans Thijssen in their side in the early 1970s or mid-1970s, one of the best sides in British football at that time. They really were an attractive outfit, and they helped them to win the FA Cup and indeed to win the UEFA Cup. And of course, the manager in charge at that time was Bobby Robson, now in charge of England's national side. Into the World Cup finals in Italy next summer. Ross McLaren off to Paul Bowden. Hockaday. And Swindon content to play the possession game. 3 goals up, of course. It's to their advantage to do so. But I dare say they'd like to get a 4th goal before the end of the afternoon's match. Here's Bowden, looking for the run of Alan McLoughlin, and he beats the opposing number 4, Stephen Palmer, but is brought down in the process, so Swindon get a free kick. Palmer, well, he's down, needs some treatment, but Swindon's free kick. Palmer is going to limp out of the action. So he must have done himself some damage in that particular challenge on McLoughlin, and Graham Harvey is about to replace him. Swindon's free kick then, we'll have to wait just a few moments as Harvey takes his place in that Ipswich Town lineup. David Hockaday and Tom Jones. Hockaday's cross away by the Ipswich defence, only as far as McLoughlin. McLaren. Bowden. Oh, and Shearer very nearly dispossesses Linnigan. Phil King. Duncan, Shearer. Off to McLaren. McLaren trying to get the ball cross field towards Phil King, or indeed Hockaday rather. Swindon have a substitute warming up, Tony Galvin and John Corbell. Zondervan. Well read by Tim Parkin. Only as far as Dazelle. Dazelle off towards the number 2, Mick Stockwell. Finds Kawumia. Now to Harvey, the other substitute, and his shot is a good one, but straight at Fraser Digby. As the time ebbs away for Ipswich, they really will have to find the net if they're to produce anything like a comeback. and switch forward clatters to the ground, but no foul, says referee Bodnam. Tom Jones. Good ball off towards Duncan. Shearer. Shearer, good ball forward, looking for the run of Steve White, who's offside. Dizelle. It's Alan McLoughlin. And Bowden is pulled down. It's with Thompson. Harvey. And Bowden, well, he's doing his boot up. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. It's just a case of his footwear coming loose. Here's a chance for Romeo Zondervan then to get forward for Ipswich. Kawumya turning Tim Parkin on the edge of the box and doing well. Finds Stockwell. There's Low outside him. Comes inside though, as it all gets a little bit tight for Ipswich. McLaren and Zondervan. And McLaren, well, very cool indeed. Finds Fraser Digby. Into the last 15 minutes of the game. Swindon Town 3, Ipswich Town 0. Digby with a clearance. Well, one in the air by Linnigan. Finds McLaren. And that's a good ball forward, but White, well, no chance there, as Craig Forrest comes out for Ipswich Town. Finds Stockwell. Mickey Stockwell once again. Off to Zondervan. Oh, does well, gets past McLaren, but there are too many Swindon defenders there. And here is McLaren to come forward for the Town. Has Hockaday far side, finds McLoughlin. Here is Hockaday now. Back to Bowden. Linnigan gets the challenge in on Steve White, but only as far as Bowden. Into Jones. Jones forward for Hockaday as Swindon continue to press forward, looking for a fourth. Hockaday. Bowden. White looking to get through to McLoughlin, who goes down under a challenge. And there were appeals there for a penalty, but the referee waves play on. Calderwood off to King. McLaren. Swindon dominating proceedings at the present time. Phil King. McLoughlin looking to get through to Shearer, but fine defensive work there. Low to Kawumya. And in goes Calderwood, good challenge. And Swindon going to make the first substitution of the afternoon. Paul Bowden, who's run himself ragged so far in the Swindon Town midfield, is going off to be replaced by John Cornwall, who is on the transfer list, but finds himself in first team action. And Bowden, a warm round of applause from the County Ground faithful, and well deserved it is too. Had a fine game, Bowden. Ball inside that Swindon Town area, great save by Digby. Well, tremendous save, and David Lowe at the far post wasn't able to convert the chance, but it really was a real reflex save from Fraser Digby. Goes Cornwall, good challenge from him. And he looks eager for the fray. Finds Jones. McLoughlin. Tries to play the ball forward for Jones, but Linnigan is across quickly, but bad mistake by him, and Jones does well. Jones inside that Ipswich penalty area and runs the ball out. Will it be a corner or a goal kick? It's a corner kick. 50-50 type of situation there. McLoughlin into Cornwall. Good shot across the face of the goal and just wide. Took a deflection off Anna McLaughlin's shot, so a corner kick to Swindon as they press forward, continuing to look for this fourth goal. Corner kick then to Swindon Town, to be taken by Tom Jones. Swindon without three first-teamers this afternoon in the shape of John Gittins, Sean Close and Fitzroy Simpson, all suspended. But really, they've not been missed at all. 3 down are Ipswich. Swindon have played superbly well all that through the 90 minutes and are well deserving of the lead. Perhaps 3-0 flatters them just a fraction, as Ipswich have had a fair few chances and really haven't had the rub of the green. But Swindon might be too despondent about that as John Cornwall gets the ball forward. They'll be pleased to take any luck that's going their way. Tim Parking, good strong challenge in the air. Zondervan. Shearer. Jones, McLoughlin. McLaren. Jones. White. McLaren. McLoughlin, nice football from Swindon. Here's White again. But it all breaks down on the edge of the box as Harvey takes it away and looks for Lowe, but Parkin, well, he looked to have fended him off with his arm, and indeed the referee agrees. That's a free kick to Ipswich Town. Inside the last 9 minutes of play, Swindon 3, Ipswich 0. Inside that Town box, away by Phil King. Great challenge by Tom Jones. Jones, well, what can he do here? He's faced by 2 Ipswich defenders and finds Calderwood, who plays him into trouble somewhat. But Swindon get it away eventually. And here's Cornwall. Kuamia finds Dazelle, but it's a bad ball, finds Cornwall. Here's Jones. Ross McLaren, superb ball forward, looking for Phil King and finds him. Field for McLaren once again. Switching the play. Here's Cornwall. To Calderwood. Great ball off by McLoughlin to Cornwall. Cornwall with a shot, and down at the foot of his post, Craig Forrest. John Cornwall, though, coming forward, looking for his first goal of the season. Indeed, it would be his first goal for Swindon Town since joining them from Newcastle. Good challenge from him, too. Here's McLaren. McLoughlin. To Jones. Cornwall. Square ball to Phil King. Jones. McLaren. Calderwood. And Swindon content really just to play the ball around. And they got the 3 points in the bag, or so it would seem. So no real need to take any undue risk. Dazelle. Here's Mickey Stockwell. Graham Harvey. Harvey once again for Ipswich into that Swindon area, but really no chance at all of causing any problem for Fraser Digby, certainly not in the way he's been playing this afternoon with a ball like that. Ross McLaren. Great ball forward for Steve White, who is onside. Drives it across, but really, well... And there's Tom Jones, who looks a little bit crestfallen about that particular effort from Steve White. Inside the last 5 minutes of the match, Swindon Town 3, Ipswich Town 0. It'll be 3 well-deserved points, although Dazelle, or rather Donowa, does his very best to score, but not with a kick like that, he won't. As Ipswich come forward once again, Donowa, nice little 1-2 as they try to get behind that Swindon Town defence. And they get a corner. Chance in for Ipswich, and a shot over the bar, and again Digby never really troubled by that particular effort, as Ipswich desperately try to find the back of the net, and it doesn't look as though they're going to succeed on this occasion. Hockaday for McLaren. Phil King in a lot of space as Swindon just come forward quite comfortably. Good challenge by Zondervan. Finds Jones. Jones taking on Stockwell, getting by him too. Fine run by the Town number 7. Twisting and turning, trying to get some advantage to be able to cross. Finds King, and good work by Tom Jones. McLaren and McLoughlin somewhat getting in each other's way there. Here's Zondervan. Off to Kawumya. And Phil King, well, almost very casual indeed. It worked in the end, but Graham Harvey was in close attendance, and Digby certainly had to be quick to get to that one. Swindon content then, last 2 minutes of the match, and they're 3 goals up. So barring a total miracle, the 3 points are safe, and it will boost them in the Barclays League 2nd Division. And their unbeaten run will now stretch to 5 games. And this really has been a solid all-round performance from Swindon against a useful Ipswich side who have come forward continually. Had not much of the luck that's going. Swindon have looked solid in all departments and have put the ball in the net 3 times, which is what really counts. Stockwell. Zondervan. Thompson. Well up by Ross McLaren. It's Alan McLoughlin. Into Tom Jones. Off to Cornwall. Or in fact, he'll leave it as Swindon still come forward. Oh, and a good burst here by David Hockaday. Hockaday's cross to the head of Shearer and just evading the Swindon Town number 8, who came diving in and was an ace away from hitting the 4th goal. And what a fine goal it would have been too. Last minute of play then, as Swindon very close indeed to hitting the 4th. Phil King, McLoughlin, White, Jones, Hockaday. Swindon playing with a lot of confidence throughout the whole match, and is still going forward. McLoughlin for Shearer once again, and he finds the net this time, but is offside. So, Swindon with an ace of getting a 4th goal twice within the space of a minute. As we approach the 45 minutes, and I dare say the referee will bring the match to a conclusion at any moment. And indeed he does so, smack on time. Swindon Town have won this Barclays League 2nd Division fixture. Goals from Duncan Shearer after 33 minutes, Alan McLoughlin 5 minutes from time, and Mick Stockwell 5 minutes into the second half gives Swindon a comfortable victory after what has been a very entertaining 90 minutes of football here at the county ground in Swindon. Swindon Town's 2nd Division status is boosted. Ipswich, well, another week of nagging doubt, but Swindon go off the field quite content in front of a crowd of 8,039 people that they've done a good afternoon's work and have won this match. Swindon Town 3, Ipswich Town 0.
Yes, thoroughly enjoyed the game. Thought the lads played great, really. We can't ask for no more. Everyone tried to play football at the right times, didn't take any chances. Fraser made a good save with the penalty. Even I think, was it 2-0 at that time or was it 3-0? I think it was 2-0, I'm not too sure anyway, but he made a great save, and that was the turning point, really, of the game.
Ipswich came with a reputation of playing football, but you outmatched them.
Yes, I thought we outmatched them in every department, really. They played in certain little areas but didn't cause any problems whatsoever.
And your own personal performance, you must have been delighted with that as well.
Yeah, was delighted. All the lads help and a tribute to everyone playing well, but obviously pleased to get another goal. Just got to keep it going, really. Long season to go.
From the back of the stand, we couldn't see whether you or a defender scored that goal, but you're obviously claiming it.
Yes, definitely. The defender had no way of stopping it. Actually, from where I was, he was just inside the net as he's kicked it. It's hit the roof of the net. As far as I'm concerned, that's my goal anyway.
Right. Now, just before the end, you pulled up. Did you hurt something?
No, it was just a bit of cramp. We had a couple of days off this week. I think maybe it was a tribute to that. But I'd done a fair amount of running and I covered quite a lot of ground. So it was just a stretch for the ball and just a little bit of cramp. There was nothing to worry about whatsoever.
I've got with me assistant manager Chick Bates. How much of a performance was that by your side?
Probably as good as we played all season. 3-0 was a fair reflection of the match, and all you can do now is go on to Tuesday's game and full of confidence and get 3 points against Oxford.
What gave you the most pleasure out of that match?
I just felt we were a yard quicker to the ball, and when we got the ball we was a yard quicker that way as well. We generally was on top throughout the game. We looked a good side, and what more could you ask for on the day, really?
Even when they did get through Ipswich, you always has Fraser Digby there. I mean, a tremendous save from the penalty.
Yeah, the penalty, I mean, Fraser went the right way, made a tremendous save. That typified the performance, we was very strong at the back. through midfield we've strung together some good moves, and up front we look very sharp as well.
Ipswich Town then generally regarded as one of the best footballing sides in the second division. How did you think your side compared against them?
Well, as I say, that's the pleasing thing really. We've played Ipswich probably at their own game, come out far the better side, and we now look forward to the rest of the season. Oxford's in our minds now, and obviously we want to get in that top six and stay there all season.
Oxford United on Tuesday night, local derby of course. How geared up will your players be after that?
Well, as I said, full of confidence. You know, we can expect a big crowd now. It's always hard games, local derbies, but you know, goals are being spread throughout the team. I just feel that we're capable of scoring goals from any position, and obviously that gives you a good chance of winning the game.
And Alan McLoughlin quite superb in midfield.
Yeah, Alan gets better. He has 6 goals this season. He's grown in stature this year. He's become a stronger player. We could have a star player on our books.
Chick Bates, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks.